I am Dr. Safdar Hussain Tahir, Director, Lalpur Business School, Government College University, Faisalabad. I would like to thank all my participants who spare their precious time for this QCA lecture. Today, our lecture is necessity of redesigning the research with fuzzy set qualitative comparative analysis for top tier journal. And today we will discuss why we need to adopt the QCA in place of the regression-based method. And this is the first thing that we discuss many reasons for adopting the QCA. Then we will discuss multiple reasons to redesign research on QCA, conceptual difference between the QCA and research-based, regression-based model. The rule is of this lecture, I show your name and university, institution, country name. If abroad, mute your mic, please. Open your camera if possible. Please do not put silly question. For questioning, raise hand and wait for your turn. Send a request for new link in case of any technical error. My WhatsApp number is 0301709124. Once again, 0301709124. If there is a technical problem, you can call on this number and you can get the information regarding this. After this lecture, you can download this lecture from my YouTube channel of my name, Dr. Safdar Hussain Tahir. I will upload this lecture and you will be able to download it. Why QCA, not regression-based methods? We are going to discuss at least 13 different reasons for adopting the QCA in place of the regression-based method. And the first reason is this. Why QCA, not regression-based method? Reason number one, QCA is a method of agreement and difference, which is a daily life phenomenon. Cause and effect are the base of QCA. Method of agreement, two or more instances of an event effect are compared to see what they have in common. The commonality is identified as the cause, that is intersection of the set. When two examples, suppose example A and example E, example B, and what is common between them, that is the cause of this. This is the intersection in a set relationship. A method of difference, two or more instances of an event are compared to see what they all do not have in common. If they have all, but one thing is in common, one thing in common, that one thing is identified as a cause, that is the union of the set. So this is a daily life phenomena. We are agree and sometimes we are disagree. If we agree and disagree, so this is the phenomena of set and subset. This is the phenomena of intersection and union of the set. So we should adopt such kind of a technique in order to evaluate the statement of agreement or difference, that is a QCA. The phenomena are used in our daily life. QCA is based on them. So we should use QCA to evaluate the statements of our daily life problem. Our daily life problems most probably equated in agreement and difference, and the statements are based on the agreement and the difference. These agreement and difference has a base in the QCA rather than regression based method. So we should use QCA. This is the first reason. The second reason, Why QCA, not regression-based method? Reason number two, we have some statements. Small farmer are risk averse. Religious fundamentals are politically conservative. Developing countries are democratic. All three statements have a set theoretic relation in their nature and no correlation connection. So these statements, if we evaluate and test by the regression-based method, it would be wrong for them because their base is in set theoretic relationship. So it should be tested with a tool which is designed on the base of a set and subset relationship, QCA. These statements should be tested with QCA in its true nature of relationship, not with conventional regression-based method. So the statement, where is the base, and if a tool, if a technique which use these particular bases, so that technique is most appropriate. This is the second reason of adopting QCA in place of regression-based methods. Why QCA, not regression-based method? Reason number three. Conventional regression methods are based on symmetric data. However, QCA is based on asymmetric data. What do you think? Do data really symmetrical in nature? I don't think. There is a microcosm means we are, and there is a macrocosm means universe. We are the subset of the great set, superset, that is the universe. So everything in the universe, God reduced it in a miniature scale and put in the body of each and every person. So every person is a universe. Every person is a different from another person. Yet every individual is different from other. So anything which is time bound constantly changes in this universe. We are not what we are. We are what we are in this lecture, we were not in a previous lecture. So always the improvement is there and always the modification is there. So that is why symmetrical data in real sense of the word not exist in this universe. So we have to take the asymmetrical data. Data always asymmetrical, and by means of many methods, we will change it as a symmetrical data, because you know that regression need a symmetrical data. If the data is asymmetrical, it will create a problem for it. So the reason number three is that we need to use the QCA. Reason number three for taking QCA as a regression-based, as a research methodology, QCA more generalizable than regression-based method. In BRM, we take data set, run software, and draw conclusion on the base of the results. In QCA, we take data set and first we study it, then run the software and draw the conclusion on the base of the result and our own understanding of the data. So when our own understanding of the data included with the empirical results, these results are more generalizable, more valid, and more solid in place of as compared to the result that we get from the regression-based method. Reason number five, why QCA? Complexity of inferential statics. This is very important. Inferential statics have some problem when even not only the statisticians, but the most expert person sometimes misunderstood, misinterpreted, and misconstruct the statistics. Most teachers of statistics do not fully understand p-values. Not even specialist scientists can easily explain them. So in order to avoid the complexity of the inferential statics, we should adopt QCA. One thing is that I would like to explain is that the equation number 1 indicates that p-value is equal to probability of data or data more extreme, h not true, that is the condition. Thus the p-value, PR is the probability given our condition, that is, and H naught is the null hypothesis. The p-value answers the question, if the null hypothesis were true, what is the probability of observing the current data or data that is more extreme? Note that p-value is not the probability. The hypothesis, any other hypothesis is right and wrong. In fact, it assumes the null hypothesis is right. So we already assume that the null hypothesis is right. So that is why we adopt, we select the alternative hypothesis. The rejection of null hypothesis is not always equal to acceptance of the alternative hypothesis in all cases. It may be or it may not be true. So sometimes when we use the regression-based method and when we reject the null hypothesis, we accept the alternate hypothesis. The rejection of the null hypothesis does not guarantee to the acceptance of the alternative hypothesis. So this is the problem. But in QCA, we don't have such kind of the hypothesis. We have a statement and we check this statement by this method. A rejection of null hypothesis is not equal to acceptance of alternative hypothesis or vice versa. There are two options of the decision. They are either reject H naught if the sample information favor the alternative hypothesis, do not reject H naught, decline to reject H naught if the sample information is insufficient to reject the null hypothesis. Reason number 6. This is a big reason for adopting the QCA. Basically, QCA is based for case studies and made for the case study to analyze the case studies. And we have a big advantage of the sample size. QCA is employable on a very small sample, less than 50 cases, to a very large sample. We can use small samples and we can use the large sample. However, BRM needs sufficient data for the analysis. You know that particularly quantitative analysis needs some sufficient amount of data. Otherwise, the result may not valid and may not journalizable to the general public. This is the 7th reason. Why QCA, not regression-based method? QCA better deal with categorical variables or nominal variables, which do not have to be transformed into fuzzy sets. Some variable, like a gender, if we take the 0 for the female and 1 for the male or vice versa, so these variables are not transferable to another fuzzy set. We have always the value either 0 or 1. 1 for male and female, and similarly 0 for. Similarly, when we use these kinds of the variable, these are the categorical variable, and these categorical variables are well adjusted in QCA, not in a regression-based method. However, regression-based method, particularly quantitative technique, do not have the capability to capture the impact of the nominal variable, especially when other independent variables have a large value. This is the example. Look at it. Regression-based method, fsQCA. And the whole thing in the regression-based method, assets are in million, sales in million, and gender 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. We are comparing ant with elephant, which is not acceptable. Actually, when we are not able to use the categorical variables when we do the analysis, but we will do that. But what about the CSQCA? CSQCA the value is all values, all variables, 1 or 0, 1 or 0. It means that you compare ant with ant, which is an acceptable thing. We cannot compare ant with elephant, but we can compare the elephant with the elephant and ant with ant. Similarly, regression-based method, that elephant cannot be compared with even in a fsQCA. fsQCA, the value is between 0 and 1, and the categorical variable have a 0 and 1 value. So it is also it is a valid that we use the gender with the other variables in fsQCA, and we can compare ant with ant, but we cannot compare the ant with elephant. This is the 8th reason for adopting the QCA, not regression-based method. Net effect versus variety of complex combinations. In general, variance-based methods examine variable in competing environment as they compute the net effect between variable in the model. If the model, as you see on the screen, y is a function of fx is equal to a naught, x1, x2, and x3. And in this regression model, we will get the net effect of x1, x2, and x3 on y. But in a QCA, we will get the combination of the x1, x2, x3. There are many combinations and many cases when we say it may be x1 and x2, x1 and x3, x1 and x2 and x3, and then x1, x2, and x3. So we have a various combination of the independent variable that have an impact on the dependent variable. But in case of a regression, we have a net effect. We may have a best solution in a regression analysis. Maybe this best solution is not practicable, is not feasible for all levels of management. QCA focus on a complex and asymmetric relation between the outcomes of interest and its antecedents. An outcome may be the result of variety of combination, and which combination contribute independently to it. There is a combination of variety of combination of variable, and each combination is independent from the other combination, which is a big advantage that we are going to get the result. So we seek to design systems that take into account of all users. We have a multiple users of the same research. The same research is being used by the managers, by the middle managers, and by the top managers, and the policymaker, and the public policymakers. So every person have a you can say have a single solution. But in case of a QCA, every level can use the result, what is favorable and what is manageable to that particular level. We need method that enable researcher to compute multiple solution of multiple type of user. We have a multiple type of user. We must have a multiple solution in order to implement, not the vast majority explained by the best solution of the regression analysis. The best solution may not be the best for all level of management. Reason number 9, adopting the QCA. Application of researcher own knowledge and understanding of the research problem. In QCA, a researcher require accurate workbench knowledge about examined variable. We have a we study the data first and study the condition and outcome as well as the underlying theory and the context of it. Such knowledge is used throughout the analysis. The knowledge of the data used throughout the process of the software. We calibrate the data and we transfer the data into a fuzzy set, simplifying the multiple solution and interpreting the result. So the results of the QCA is more generalizable, is more valid, is more solid and strong as compared to the regression-based model. So that is why, because in a regression-based method, we don't use our own knowledge, our own study, our own observation in the software. Whatever the software gives you the result, you are going to implement and you are going to interpret this. The conclusions must be drawn on the base of the empirical result. But in case of a QCA, the conclusion must be drawn on the base of the empirical result as well as our own understanding of the data. The researchers should make decision at a different stage based on their knowledge that is typical in qualitative analysis. However, this section is both a limitation. Some people said that this may be the result may be get the biasness, and this is a limitation, and at the same time it is a strength of fsQCA. While it can introduce subjective bias into the study, researcher own knowledge and understanding of the field and a research problem can lead to a research analysis and understanding of data, which is not possible through RBM. This is the ninth reason of this adopting QCA. Then why QCA? The answer is the QCA have a multiple solution, for one particular data. One solution named as complex solution, parsimonious solution, and intermediate solution. When we say solution, it refers to the combination of the configuration, where the combination lead to the outcome is consistent. The complex solution represents all possible combination of conditions when traditional logical operations are applied. It means that complex solution indicates the all possible combination of the x, y, x1, x2, and x3 variable. These combinations may be x1 and x2, x1 and x3, x1 and x2 and x3, x1, x2 and x3. There are a different combination of the independent variable, and all the combination indicated in a complex solution. The complex solution may not be feasible, so that is why we have another solution, parsimonious solution. Set is a simplified version of the complex solution based on the simplifying assumption and present in most important condition which cannot be left out from any solution. So it only considers the most important condition. This condition is very important. Without this condition, the outcome may not possible. These are called core conditions. So we will get the core conditions through the parsimonious solution. Similarly, we have another solution that is intermediate solution. The conditions that are eliminated in the parsimonious solution and appear only in the intermediate solution is called peripheral condition. So the peripheral condition is the third condition that we will get when we get the intermediate solution. These core and peripheral conditions cannot be obtained through the research-based model, a regression-based model. Sadsha, please mute your mic. ये माइक देखना माइक किसका चल this is the multiple outcomes of the of this methodologies that this is an example, one example that I used in the previous lecture, still in this lecture, that we have 9 different solutions, and then we decide which solution is best for us and which solution we use in our research. The important thing in this all solution still किसी का mic on है. ये mic unmute. वो टिक नहीं करना था. हो गया. Okay. Okay. Now we will move toward the consistency and the coverage. There are 2 key components related to QCA, that is consistency and coverage. Consistency refer to the percentage of the causal configuration of the similar composition which result in the same outcome value. The percentage of the causal configurations of the similar composition. If the consistency of the configuration is low, it is not supported by empirical evidence. Therefore, it should be considered less relevant than other configuration with higher consistency. So the one thing in a QCA, that is the consistency, which is more important. If your consistency is low, so we say that the configuration is less relevant as compared to the configuration of the higher consistency. Similarly, we have a coverage referred to the number of the cases for which a configuration is valid, like R square. If your coverage is 0.84, it means that 84% cases support the outcome. Your outcome, this is just like a R square. If it is a 8 point, if it is a 84%, it means that 84% cases of your data support to your outcome, not 16%. 16% which not supported to your outcome, 84%. So we when we draw the conclusion, we note that how many cases in this data that support our particular empirical evidence. Unlike consistency, the fact of the configuration coverage is low does not imply less relevance. In case where is result occur through multiple causal conditions, a single configuration can have a low coverage, but nevertheless be useful to explain a set which cause a particular outcome. Reason number 11. Why QCA, not regression-based method? Testing for specific proposition which is not possible in regression-based method. You can test the specific position when after the journal result, you will test the specific position. Okay, one person raising hand. So I would like to take the question. इसको करें. Okay, Put your question, please. What? इसको हटाना. Hello? Yes. Okay.
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर.
जी जी जी, वालेकुम अस्सलाम.
सर ये आप इसमें जूम मीटिंग में सिर्फ ये स्लाइड्स पढ़ाएंगे या फिर कोई प्रैक्टिकल वगैरह भी करके दिखाएंगे डाटा एनालाइज करने के लिए, किस तरह से हम
आगे
क्यूएसी की?
आगे आगे इसके बाद जो लेक्चर आएंगे उसमें हम एनालिसिस करेंगे. अभी चूंकि बेस है और चूंकि ये एक नई टेक्निक है, एक मॉडर्न मेथडोलॉजी है, तो अभी
जी सर.
बहुत ज़रूरी है कि ये समझा जाए कि ये है क्या. और जब हमें इस बात की पूरी तरह समझ आ जाएगी कि ये टेक्निक ये है, तो देन अगले लेक्चर्स में जब मैं लेक्चर प्रिपेयर करूंगा तो उसमें हम कुछ डाटा एनालिसिस की तरफ जाएंगे.
तो
लेकिन
फिर वो नेक्स्ट मीटिंग में होगा?
हाँ जी, नेक्स्ट जब फिर मीटिंग शेड्यूल करूंगा और फिर मैं आप लोगों को बताऊंगा, तो देन वी विल डू दैट.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
थैंक यू. तो इसमें मैं ये बता रहा था कि कोई स्पेसिफिक पोजीशन प्रोपोजिशन जो है उसको भी, मसलन एक दफ़ा आपने रिजल्ट निकाल लिए, फिर आपके पास सपोज 6 प्रोपोजिशन थी, तो ये 6 प्रोपोजिशन को आप फिर इंडिविजुअली एक एक को चेक कर सकते हैं कि ये कितनी एम्पिरिकल हैं और ये कितनी वैलिड हैं और कितना हम इनके ऊपर रिलाय कर सकते हैं, जबकि ये रिग्रेशन बेस्ड मेथड में ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है. तो इसमें आप हर प्रोपोजिशन को पहले जर्नल उसका, फिर स्पेसिफिक एनालिसिस किया जाता है, और स्पेसिफिक एनालिसिस में आपकी प्रोपोजिशन को हम दोबारा से फिर टेस्ट करते हैं क्या ये इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए, प्रैक्टिकलिटी के लिए पॉसिबल है या पॉसिबल नहीं है. Okay. Then we have the 12th reason, testing the predictive validity, which is not possible by regression based method. रिग्रेशन बेस्ड मेथड्स में हम ऐसा नहीं कर सकते कि हम प्रिडिक्टिव वैलिडिटी, इसमें चूंकि हमारे पास ये कम सैंपल के ऊपर भी वैलिड होते हैं इसके रिजल्ट, इसको हम चला सकते हैं. तो ऐसी सूरत में हम सैंपल का कुछ हिस्सा रख लेते हैं और पहले उसका लार्ज हिस्सा जो उसके ऊपर हम टेस्ट जो है उसको. ओके, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? Okay, question please. Anyone?
Yes,
Yes.
it's Sarah. And I just want to ask, are you continuing the lecture in your language or in English?
Yeah. I change it. I change it because we have international some participants. So I would like to use English again. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This is another. This is the 12th reasons of adopting the QCA, not regression-based method, testing the predictive validity, which is not possible by regression-based method. Predictive validity shows how well the model predicts the dependent variable in additional sample. So it is not possible to take the additional sample in case of a regression-based method, but in case of a QCA, it is possible. So we will do additional predictive validity. Predictive validity is important because achieving one good model fit does not necessarily mean that the model offer a good prediction. So for the good prediction, we must test the model and we must check the predictive validity of that model, which is only possible in QCA. This is the 13th reason adopting the QCA. These set theoretic relationships are then interpreted in terms of necessity or sufficiency, which is not possible in regression-based models. A necessary condition is a condition that must be present for an event to occur. A sufficient condition is a condition or set of conditions that will be produce the event. Air is necessary for life, but not sufficient. the sufficient condition is subset of the outcome, and the necessary condition is the superset of the outcome. So the regression-based method gives us, makes us able to understand the sufficient condition and the necessary condition, and we then apply these sufficient and necessary conditions in that model. This is a set and subset relationship. A is a sufficient for B if A, then B. A is necessary for B if B, then A. If not A, then not B. Oxygen is necessary for combustion. If there is combustion, then there is oxygen. If there is no oxygen, then there is no combustion. So in this method, QCA, we will get the necessary condition, and we will get the sufficient condition, which is applicable and which we apply in our practical and implementation of the research result. We will take a short break, and after this break, we will compare the conceptual difference between the QCA and regression-based method. Okay, I would like to take a 5-minute break, please.